What's going on, guys? The Comics Kid 2099 here. Today I want to talk to you about Todd Knox' Wildguard Volume 1 casting call. When I bought this, I bought it used in a store. I did not know anything about it at all. I saw some really colorful superheroes on the cover, and it was pretty cheap. I want to say I paid less than $5 for it, and so that grabbed me. I thought, okay, colorful superheroes. I like superheroes. I'll buy it for however much it was, and I did not know anything about the premise going into it. And the premise is a reality TV show wants to put together their own superhero team. There's like 200-something superheroes who show up at the beginning of this story to audition to be on this superhero team, and by the end of the book, there are 5 finalists who actually joined the superhero team. And I probably still would have gotten this book if I had known the premise, because it looked good. I liked the art. Todd Knox, he did art on Young Justice in the 90s with Peter David, and I like his artwork a lot. I think he does some really good designs here, and I like superhero stuff, and also it was inexpensive enough that I was willing to give it a shot. But I do not like reality TV. I don't watch reality TV. I don't know anyone who admits to watching reality TV. Now, obviously, people do, because for the last 20 years, reality TV shows have been a big part of at least American culture. I don't know so much about outside of America, but at least in America, I can think of at least a dozen shows that have been a big part of the pop cultural experience in the last 20 years. And it's not my thing at all. The whole thing about people trying to stab each other in the back so that they can make it to the top, and then you have people who are trying to help these people trying to make it to the top, but they have their own reasons for doing it, and they have their own criteria. None of that works for me. I don't enjoy any of that on any level, and that's why I say I would have been a little wary going into this if I had known what the premise was. And not really shocking anyone, the parts of this that were leaning more towards the superhero side of things, I enjoyed those parts of the book quite a bit. But where it tries to be more of a reality TV show, I started to not enjoy it nearly as much. The first issue is a little slow because I guess this is kind of novel. You really have no idea which characters to follow because there are so many shoved in your face, and it's a lot like watching an early part of a season of American Idol where there's a whole bunch of people auditioning and you don't really know where this is going to go. And then the premise is a whole bunch of these characters get kidnapped by an alien, and then several of them who don't get kidnapped, they have to go and try and rescue those guys, and that's the part of the book that I enjoyed the most. There is one character who says, okay, this is still going to be part of your audition, even though this was not planned. I am going to be keeping an eye on you guys, so we're all going to have to work together to save those guys, but consider this kind of to be part of your audition. And I still enjoyed this part of the book where they're doing the rescue. I enjoyed that much more than the parts where it was more of a controlled reality TV show setting within the book. So I don't really have a whole lot else to say. If you like reality TV shows, if you like American Idol or The Voice or anything like that, and you also like superhero stuff, then you would probably really dig this a lot. If you like Todd Knox' art, you will probably like this. I think his art is the best part of this easily. I would say one thing that a lot of people don't get a lot of credit for, but the designs here probably were the most difficult thing for him, if I had to guess, because he has to sit down and design something like 100 plus characters. Now, I say there were 200 or so superheroes at the beginning. There are a lot of characters. I didn't sit down and count them, but there are many of them that don't have any lines at all, but he still has to draw a character in the background there and draw a costume that is fairly unique, and that would be very difficult. As someone who has tried his hand at creating characters of his own, it's not easy to create a unique costume, especially when we've had almost 100 years of superhero characters in the pop culture, and they all kind of have their own unique style. It's hard to create something that's unique and fresh and interesting that's not just, okay, that's Wonder Woman, but colored a little differently. So props to him for creating that many characters, many of which are just throwaway characters that you won't even see after a few panels. So props there. And like I said, if you are into the superhero thing and the American Idol type reality TV show stuff, then you will probably enjoy this book more than I did. It's not a situation where this book could have been handled better. It's a situation where the premise was not meant for me. This is not a situation where, okay, they should have done this, this, and this differently. Considering the premise, this was handled about as well as it could have been. This is just a situation where I am not the audience for this book, and so I can only tell you that you might enjoy it a little more than me, or you might enjoy it about as much as I did. But I don't think it's awful, but if I had known that it was a reality TV show type comic book, I might have been a little more wary going into it. So those are my thoughts on Wildguard Volume 1 Casting Call. I am a little curious what the later volumes are going to be like, since the reality TV show part of this, I think, is kind of over now. The main team is actually chosen at the end of this book. They are all now part of the team, the 5 finalists, and so I guess the rest of the series is going to be more of a regular superhero book where these 5 have to do superhero things. You'll probably still get one-on-one them talking to the camera like you would in a reality TV show, but as far as like all the auditioning stuff that you have here, that's all over, I think. So I guess the series is going to be a little bit more of a regular superhero book moving forward. I don't know if I'm going to keep reading it or not. But anyway, I thought this was an okay book. I hope that you guys liked this video, and if you did, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Do all those things that you like doing. Share this video with your friends, and I will be back in the future with some other videos. In the meantime, have a great rest of the day. Catch you later.